Hello student, I am Mrs. Alka Sharma. Today I am taking class 8 SST History chapter 2. Now I already explained you about how the East India Company entered in the country with a small business and then how they increased their power in the country. So today we are going to study about when the company established in India, how they expand their rules, then how the residents came in India, what they started, what is called subsidiary alliance, Tipu Sultan, why he is called the Tiger of Mysore, what is the legend of Tipu Sultan, how the company had done war with Marathas, what is the clan of Paramountcy, doctrine of lapse, setting up a new administration, what is the difference between company army and the Mughal army, Sipahi army, and conclusion. Now, as we know, this East India Company entered in a country, and during that time it was a very small, and slowly how they captured the power and increased their trade in India. Even they started interfering in the political affairs also. So the company rule expand. When they rule, they expand. So during 1757 and 1857, East India Company annexed various Indian states. They control these Indian states under their power. Instead of what they are doing, sometimes they are using direct military attack, or sometimes they are using political, economic and diplomatic methods to influence the state. So what they done, they followed different patterns by which while occupying the Indian states. So see that residents, who are called the residents. See, after the Battle of Buxar 1664, the company appointed some residents in Indian states. So they were political or commercial agents, and their job was, what is their job? Their job was to serve for the company. So when these residents, they came in India and they settled here, they began to started the interfere in the internal affairs of the Indian state. And now what they done? They tried to decide who was to be successor and to the throne, who would be appointed in administrative post. Soon the company forced, and in this way slowly they started force the states into subsidiary alliance. Now what is called subsidiary alliance? See, according to this alliance, Indian rulers who were not allowed to have their independent army, rather they have to be protected by the company. Means company can give their army, and that they have to be, and they, what in the return they have to give? They have to pay for the subsidiary alliance forces provided by the company. So in this way they started forcing these rulers. Suppose what happened if they will not agreed. So if the Indian rulers failed to make the payment, so what happened? The part of the territory was taken away by this company. And for example, you see Awadh and the Hyderabad, they are not able to pay this, so they forced to create the territories on this ground. Now, but can all the rulers have accepted this? No, some are not. Like Tipu Sultan, Marathas, they had not adopted these methods. So what happened? First we know about the Tipu Sultan. See, whenever the company saw a threat, sometimes they had seen its political or economic interests are not going properly, so it resorted directly the military confrontation. We can learn about the example we will take of the Mysore. Do you know? The Mysore became the powerful under the rulers like Hyder Ali. He ruled from 1761 to 1782, and his son Tipu Sultan, he ruled from 1780 to 1799. Do you know? Mysore controlled the power, and now they had done a good business in the profitable pepper and cardamom spices. Now, so in 1785, Tipu Sultan, he stopped export of sandalwood, chandan, pepper, kali mirch and cardamom, elaichi through the ports of his kingdom. And he also disallowed the local merchants who are doing the business from here and from trading company with the now. So what happened? During that time, he had a close relationship between the French and the East India Company fought 4 wars with Tipu Sultan, 1767 to 1769, 1780 to 84, 1790 to 92 and 1799. So the earlier three war was won by the Tipu Sultan, but the last war, only the last battle, that the battle of Seringpattam, the company had won, and company ultimately won the war. And now Tipu Sultan was killed and defending his capital Seringpattam. So Mysore was placed under Vadiya's dynasty and a subsidiary alliance was imposed. Now, do you know what is the legend of Tipu Sultan? Why is called the tiger of the Mysore? See, now kings, as you know, the kings are often surrounded by the legions and their powers are glorified, some by folklores. So here is a legend about Tipu Sultan. See, when he became the ruler of Mysore in 1782, it is said that once he went hunting in the forest with his French friend. There he came face to face with the tiger, and during that time his gun did not work and the dagger fell to the ground. What happened? Then he battled with the tiger with unarmed until he managed to reach the dagger and pick up the dagger, and finally he was able to kill the tiger in the battle. So after this he came to be known as Tiger of Mysore, and you know he had image of tiger on his flag. Now this we studied about the Tipu Sultan. Now can these East Indian Company Britishers, they had done war with Maratha. Can Maratha also accept their all the rules? No. So war with the Maratha, that we are going to study. See, the company tried to destroy the Maratha power from the late 18th century. Do you know the Maratha were divided into many states under different chiefs belonging to dynasties like Sindhya, Holkar, Gaikwad and Bhosle. Do you know they were held together in confederacy? What does this mean? Alliance or union of the states or groups of the peoples or the political parties with the same aim. So they all joined together. Under Peshwa, who belonged to Pune, Mahaji Sindhya and Nana Fadnis were the two famous Maratha statesmen of the late 18th century. And do you know, the company subdued the Marathas in series of wars. The wars 1775 to 1782, 1803 to 1805 and 1817 to 19. So in this way they fought the war with Maratha. Now next, claim to paramountcy means supreme. Paramountcy means power of supreme power. See how? From the early 19th century, the company pursued an aggressive policy. They had adopted different policy, how they expand their territories. So under the Governor General Lord Hastings, 1813 to 1823, a new policy, he started a new policy of paramountcy, being supreme. How they become supreme? So what he initiated. According to this policy, what is the main aim? The company claimed that its authority was supreme and the power was greater than that of Indian state. That is the main. See, the British took control of Afghanistan by this paramountcy, Sindh and Punjab, and secured their control over northwest areas also. After that, one word you already know, doctrine of lapse. What does it mean? Doctrine of lapse. See, under the Governor General Lord Dalhousie, annexation were at the peak. So Lord Dalhousie devised a policy. He made one policy that came to be known as doctrine of lapse. What is written on this policy? See, according to this policy of doctrine, if any Indian ruler died without a male heir, means when he died and he is having no male child, see, so his kingdom would become to be part of the company territory that they had made the rule. So what happened? There are so many rulers who is having no male child. So what happened? When they died, so they captured their rules under their rulers, wherever they rules their kingdoms under their own. So in this way they follow this new doctrine of lapse. Now do you know which of the area they captured? Satara, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Nagpur, Jhansi and Awadh. These all were annexed by these, applying this doctrine of lapse. Do you know? So in 1856 the company also took over Awadh, and this time the British had an added argument. What argument? They said that they were obliged by duty and to take over Awadh in order to free the peoples of misgovernment of Nawab. That is why they are capturing. They had given the reason. Now, the humiliating way in which the Nawab was disposed and the people of Awadh, they had not sit quietly. They done a great revolt, and that broke out in 1857 because they all are angered with this policy. Next, setting of new administration. Now here we have seen what type of different methods they adopted to control the power in India. So how they start a new administrative system in India. See this, British territories in India were broadly divided into administrative units that we call presidency. Do you know how many presidencies were there? There are 3 presidency: Bengal presidency, Madras presidency and Bombay presidency. See how it is ruled. It is ruled by a governor. The supreme head of the administrative was the Governor General. Do you know Warren Hastings was the first Governor General 1773 to 85. He was the first Governor General of India. What he had done when he was appointed in India? Warren has introduced several new administrative system reforms, especially in sphere of justice. What he done? See, he made a new system of justice and established in 1772, and each districts was have 2 courts. What type of courts they are having? Criminal courts and civil court. Criminal courts, it is called Fauzdari Adalat, and civil court, this is called Diwani Adalat. See, the principal figure of his district was, who is the head? That was the collector. What is the duty of the collector? Who was responsible? The duty of collector: collect revenue, taxes and maintain law and order in his district. Now, the criminal court was still under a Qazi. Qazi means a judge, and Mufti. Mufti means juries of Muslim communities who will make the laws and rules, but under the supervision of the collector, means collector supervised all this. Now, a major problem was that during that time was the Brahman Pandit. They gave interpretation of local laws, and that is based on different schools of Dharma Shastra. So that is different. Now do you know, the company had appointed army because he want to make it strong. So the colonial rulers rule in India brought some new ideas of administration, and they reformed its power rested on military strength. So see, we will study the comparison of 2 army, Mughal army and the Sepoy army. See, Mughal army. The Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalry. What is the meaning of cavalry army? Means Savar state trained soldiers on horseback, जो horse पे चलते हैं. See, and infantry, that is the पैदल foot soldiers, those who are walking. Soldiers were trained in archery. Archery means तीरंदाजी, and they are using sword, talwar. And the cavalry during the Mughal rulers, the cavalry dominated the army, and Mughals state did not feel that they need to have large professional trained infantry because they are suitable for them. The rural areas had a large number of armed patients, and the local zamindars, they often supplies the Mughal and Pedal soldiers to them. A change occurred during 18th century when Mughal successors states like Awadh, Banaras started recruiting patients into their army and training them as professional soldiers. What is the difference among Sipahi army? See, the East India Company adopted the same method like the Mughal army, and they started recruitment for its own army, which came to be known as Sipahi army from Indian word Sipahi, meaning soldiers. See, as warfare technology changed during that time, during 1820, so the cavalry requirement of the company declined. See, British at that time were fighting. They had done the war with Burma, Afghanistan and Egypt, where soldiers were armed with muskets. Muskets means a heavy gun is used by infantry soldiers, and they are using matchlocks. What is the meaning of matchlock? Means in early type of gun, a powder was used and that is ignited by the match, and they are blowing this. So in the early 19th century, the British developed a uniform military culture. Soldiers were increasingly subjected that to European style training, drill, discipline that regulated their life to more than before. So what we concluded on this topic today, gradually I have seen the East India Company was transformed from trading company. They entered in India for the trade, but how they control and become territorial colonial power. The arrival of new stream of technology in the early 19th century also added this process. Till then it would take anywhere between 6 and 8 months to travel India by sea route they came. Steamship reduced the journey time by 3 weeks, enabling more Britishers and their families. They came to far off country like India, and by 1857 the East India Company had virtually become the whole Indian rulers under its control. So you have seen in this way they had controlled the India, how they started their small power and expand their rules in India. Now I had given in this lesson some question and answers of your NCERT, so please prepare it. See the question number 1, what attracted European trading companies to India? This was great demand of Indian fine quality of silk during that time and cotton in European countries. So Indian spices are famous like pepper, cardamom, clove and cinnamon. Two were great demand. So these things were easily available in India in low price. So that is why European traders, they started selling it higher prices in Europe. Thus European traders came to India to gain profit. In this way enter. Second question, what were the areas of conflicts between Bengal, Nawab and East India Company? What are the main reasons? The conflict between Bengal, Nawab and the East India Company, it intensified in early 18th century. See, the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan, Ali Vardi Khan and the Siraj-ud-Dowla, they were the strong rulers and they refused to grant the company concession and demands large tributaries of the company, right to trade. Second one, they denied the company any right of coins, mint coins and stopped the company from fortification. Third, accusing the company to deceit, they claimed that company were deprived of Bengal government of huge amounts of revenue and undermining the authority of Nawab. The company on its part said that it was unjust demand for the local officials for running their trade. To expand the trade, they had rebuilt their forts. Next, how did the assumption of Diwani benefit in East Indian Company? How it helped? See, 1775, the Mughal Emperor appointed East India Company as Diwan of Bengal. After that, these Diwani allowed the company to use vast resources of Bengal. So this solved a major problem of the company. from earlier 18th century its trade with India and had they expanded, but it had to buy most of the goods in India with gold and silver import from Britain. This was because the time Britain had nothing to sell in India. Only India is getting gold and silver, but they are not getting any benefits. So the outflow of gold from Britain slowed after the Battle of Plassey and entirely stopped after the Assumption of Diwani. So in this way our gold and silver moved to other countries. Explain the system of subsidiary alliance. As per this alliance, Indians rulers were not allowed to have their independent armed force. They were to be protected by the company army force, and they had to pay for these subsidiary force that the company was supposed to maintain for the protection. If the Indian rulers they failed of the payment, then the part of their territory was taken away by a penalty, and as a penalty, and some of the territories of Awadh and Hyderabad were taken, and those were failed for these subsidiary forces. Next, in what way was the administration of the company different from the Indian rulers? See, the administration of company are different. First, the Indian rulers divide its administration as units like districts, parganas and tehsil, and company divided its administration units. We all just now studied the presidency, 3 presidency, Bengal, Madras and Bombay. Each presidency was ruled by a governor and the districts was ruled by the collector. Next, the supreme head of the administration was the company was the governor general. In India, the head of the administrative was the king. That is the difference. The main role of the collector in Indian district was to collect revenue and tax and maintain law and order in his district with the help of judge, police officers and darogas. And he became and it became the new center of power during the British Raj. Describe the changes occurred in the composition of company army. First change, before colonization, the Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalries, trained soldiers, horseback or sawaris and infantry or pedal soldiers. In the early 19th century, the British began to develop uniform military culture. After the battle with the Marathas and the Mysore rulers, the company realized the importance of strengthening its cavalry force. Now, so today I finished this chapter. Learn it properly well and learn these question and answer. Thank you.